I give up.
Good afternoon, everyone. We're just waiting for a couple more commissioners to join.
Afternoons, Chairman.
Commissioner Nash
Chairperson.
will be with us shortly.
Ken, how much for a dozen minnows?
I don't know. Used to be a minnow dealer down the street in the late 40s. That's where I got those signs from.
They made a lot of money.
Yep.
Hello, everyone.
Mr. Foster, good afternoon.
Afternoon, sir.
Kristen, do you see if John Snyder's on?
Hello, Susie.
Mark, it looks like I'm missing John Snyder, and that's all.
I talked to John Snyder 20 minutes ago.
Mark is muted.
Probably having trouble.
It is now 3:33, and I'd like to call the Muskegon County Board of Commissioners meeting to order.
Madam Chair, this is Mike Coleman.
Rulestein, could I have an invocation from you, please?
Madam Chair,
Susie?
I can't hear anything. Mark Hanson, can you hear me? Because I can't hear anybody.
Yes, I can hear you and I can hear the others.
Susie, Mike's trying to get a hold of you.
well, let me inform the other board members just before we get started. As you know, the Senate Bill 1108 was passed by the legislature and signed by the governor and took immediate effect. Part of those amendments require that the board members indicate that they are attending the meeting virtually and to state the location from where they
Mike,
are.
Mike, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Mike,
Having done that yesterday at another, or at a different meeting,
I
yeah,
can't hear, like,
I know of the rules.
So do we want to do our location as we're doing roll call?
Yeah, I think that would be an appropriate point to announce that, and that has to be captured in the minutes.
Okay. Susie, are you back on? Mark, do you want us to move on or wait for Susie?
oh,
Where'd you put it, Bob?
did you notice how all this started ever since we got a new attorney?
I think it started when COVID started.
Likely excuse. Okay, Mark said go ahead with the meeting, so I'm actually going to ask for a roll call, and as you call your name, please indicate where your location is, as our attorney has stated. So, Madam Clerk, if you could start us with a roll call, please. We must have her muted too. Madam Clerk, are you on?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, Vice Chair, or whatever, maybe we can have Realestein do the invocation.
Realestein, are you on?
Mr. Vice Chair, I am on. This is Nancy Waters, the county clerk. They've unmuted me, and so I've been able to join you.
Okay, thank you. As per our attorney's advice, we will do a roll call, and Mark texted me saying go ahead while they're working on Tuesday. So we will do a roll call, then we will go back to invocation. But for now, indicate your location when they call your name, please.
Vice Chair Foster,
here and at 4021 Apple Avenue, Muskegon, Michigan.
Thank you. Commissioner Hovey Wright.
Here, 3430 Pigeon Hill Court, Muskegon.
Thank you. Chairman Hughes.
You may have to go back to her, Madam Clerk. She's
Thank
been
you.
muted.
Commissioner Laring. Commissioner Laring, are you unmuted?
I am now. I am at the Hall of Justice, 4th floor.
Thank you. Commissioner Mahoney.
I am here. I'm at 8008 Old Channel Trail in the big city of Montague.
Thank you. Commissioner Nash.
I am here, 819 Amity Avenue, Muskegon, Michigan.
Thank you. Commissioner Skolnick.
I'm here, 4460 Cherrywood Court, Norton Shores, Michigan.
Thank you. Commissioner Snyder.
We will call him excused, Madam Clerk, for now.
Thank you. Commissioner Wilkins. Commissioner Wilkins, are you unmuted? Commissioner
We will-
Wilkins?
Let's call her excused for now until she can figure it out, if that's okay with you, Madam Clerk.
So at this point, we have 3 excused, Chairman Hughes, Commissioner Snyder, and Commissioner Wilkins, and
Thank
6
you.
present.
Thank you, ma'am. That still gives us a quorum, so we will move forward. And Commissioner Nash, can we bother you for doing an invocation, please?
You bothering me? No.
Thank you, sir.
We'll take a moment. Dear God, we just come to you today. We thank you for this opportunity that we have to deliberate over the business of this county. We ask that you look over this deliberation and grant us the ability to discern what we need to do in representatives of the people that we represent for this county. We ask you to continue to bless us and all those around this nation as we deal with this pandemic, that we could continue to work in peace and in harmony as we move forward to try to find some answers. God, and we ask that you continue to look over all of our servicemen and women as they work here and abroad to better the lives of all of us in this community and around the world. And we just ask that you be with us today, that we will do everything in peace and honor, and that you'll get all the glory in everything that we do. In God's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Commissioner Nash, you did so well there. Could you recite the Pledge of Allegiance for us, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic, for which it
stands, one
nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. Do we have Commissioner Hughes back on?
Yes.
We have Mr. Snyder. Good to see you, John.
Yeah, well, I can see everybody, but I can't get in. I've got my daughter-in-law coming over to try to get me in.
Well, we can hear you. That's what's important. Commissioner Hughes, are you on?
No.
Okay.
I do see Commissioner Wilkins, but her mic is muted.
So is her video.
Yeah, well,
Hello, everybody. I finally got unmuted.
this way.
Commissioner Snyder, Commissioner Wilkins are on the phone, and we're getting their phone numbers so they can be unmuted. I've not figured out what happened to Commissioner Hughes yet. That's the update.
Okay, no problem. We can run on with the meeting as it is if everybody's okay with it, and all we need is the agenda. Let's put the agenda on the screen for everybody to follow, please. Do we have Kathy doing the agenda for us?
I haven't bring it up for you. Mark Hanson will bring it up the agenda shortly. If everybody has it in front of them, you can go ahead and proceed.
Okay. I have to find mine myself. Give me a sec.
I'm in Zoom, but they can't see me. I can see them, I can hear them.
There we go.
There we go.
There we
hear
go.
you, Commissioner Snyder.
Okay, we are down to approval for the agenda.
So moved.
Support.
We have a motion and support. Any questions or comments or concerns? Hearing none. Go ahead, Realistine. I think that's you.
You aren't on here at all?
No.
I'm sorry, that must have been John Snyder.
Hello, we're trying, we're working here.
Okay, so not hearing any concerns about the agenda, we will ask for a roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Hovey Wright,
Yes.
Commissioner Laring,
Yes.
Commissioner Mahoney,
Yes.
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Commissioner Skolnick,
Yes.
Commissioner Snyder,
Yes,
Commissioner Wilkins,
thank you.
Commissioner Wilkins, Vice Chair Foster,
Yes.
Chairman Hughes, seven yes, 2 excused.
And that motion passes. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next, we will move on to approval of the minutes of October 13, 2020.
So moved.
Support.
We have a motion and support. Do we have any discussion or comments or questions on it? Hearing none. Madam Clerk, roll call again. I hate to do it to you.
Commissioner Laring,
Yes.
Commissioner Mahoney,
Yes.
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Commissioner Skolnick,
Yes.
Commissioner Snyder,
Yes,
Commissioner Wilkins, Vice Chair Foster,
Yes.
Commissioner Hovey Wright,
Yes.
Chairman Hughes. 7 yes, 2 excused.
7 yeses, and that motion approved too. So we will move on to the presentation by Kathy Moore. Do we have Kathy Moore on?
I'm searching. I don't see her yet. Mr. Phillips, do you see Kathy Moore? And so please unmute her.
I see she's on, but she's muted.
Yeah, or Mark Hanson, could you unmute Kathy?
Good afternoon. Thank you, everyone. I have just 3 quick slides to show if I could. Kathy or Christian, please help me out. Thank you so much. So, you know, those ladies are the best, guys. They are able to get my slides up, and I give it to them like 3:31, and they're just cool. And so if I could buy them flowers every day, I would. I took, this is the traditional graph of cumulative cases that I've showed during the period. I have lightened the blue to really zero in on the active cases. So the real news today is that over the last couple of days, our number of active cases have hit a record high. And we are managing more active cases than ever. They are, they're not all as severe as some of the cases were in the highest peak prior, which is May. But they're symptomatic. Not all though, they're symptomatic though, and that's why a lot of them were tested. So that's that. Let's move to the second slide. With the next slide, one of the things you'll see different is on September 22nd, the state of Michigan, and that's not the next slide, but if you would, Kathy or Kristen, thank you. The state of Michigan on September 22nd changed their metric to align with the federal metrics, they say. And so the next slide is a slide directly from the state of Michigan's website that depicts Muskegon County positivity test rate at 8.2%. The day before it was 6.2, and last week it aligned a little closer to ours. The difference, there is definitely an increase in positive cases in Muskegon County. The difference, though, that I wanted to speak to between Muskegon County, our numbers that our epidemiologist publishes, and the state, is the state is including all positive tests. So these are our tests with the same person that has had multiple tests, and they may have tested positive 3 times, 4 times. And we've been working back and forth with the state epidemiologist on this. Their argument is actually a really good argument. They said that just like this positive person has had multiple tests and is reflected, we also have people who've tested multiple times and have had negative test results. And so that's reflected as well. So they feel pretty strongly to stand with those numbers. And because the way they're calculating it aligns with national, I just thought, I need to start sharing the state calculation as well. If you look at that, with the positive test rate being 8.2 today, because yesterday I met with the judges and our county administrator, and we had not hit 6 yet.
Hey.
But with 8.2, that puts us in the test threshold of B. So up until this time, no matter how we calculated it, we were in the A, which was the best. Well, we had even reached low. We had reached below 3%, but now we're in category B as far as test thresholds. Next slide, please. So another calculation that the state now publishes on behalf of Muskegon County, as well as other counties, there's a statewide number and there's a national number. So this metric is really good for comparison reasons if you're comparing Muskegon County with other counties or with other geographic areas outside of Muskegon County. Our number of cases per million, and even though it says over time, it is a 7-day averaging period, is now at 27.3 and daily 157.7. That again puts us in the daily number of 157.7 puts us in category E for the case thresholds per million. I don't want to say that this is, we don't have to really jump and respond until we really figure out what this means. We are in category E with this metric, and then we're in category B with the other metric. Last week, we were in category A and category C. So we have seen definitely an increase in the number of positive tests. The percentage is higher. The severity is not as severe as it was in May, but our hospital have seen I don't want to say a record high because they're almost at the same level of hospitalizations that they had in May. We are seeing a resurgence among the long-term care and nursing homes and some of the other vulnerable population groups. And I will end it there. And so I don't think I told you the total number of cases we had. It was on that first slide. Total cases as of today, 2,075. Recovered to date, 1,409. Total deaths, 78. Comorbidity, COVID-19. And when I say comorbidity, it's mainly, they also had other underlying health conditions that may have resulted in death as well. And then 3 other positive COVID individuals that definitely did not die of COVID-19, but they are dead. That leaves us 585 positive cases that we are managing here in public health. We really, when the number got below 200, we celebrated. We were hoping that we would get below 100 and we'd be able to manage that internally with and build up our other programs and essential operations. Right now we are definitely streamed. We do have dollars, COVID-19 dollars from the state that they received from federal to assist. We are looking at requesting through our Human Resources Department some I don't want to say manpower, temporary services. It could be manpower, good temps, or something else to help. We don't think it's a good idea to add staff because this funding is limited, and you know, we really don't want somebody, we don't want to hire somebody away from another job and we would likely have to lay them off in September. So we're going to go with the temporary manpower approach, and we do feel that that will help us with this, with managing these cases. So now I will end there and answer any questions you may have.
Kathy?
Yes.
Could I just make a couple of, not a question, just a statement. Merle my wife is having a little procedure on Thursday, so they ordered a COVID test today, and I went where the tent was. The tent is gone. Did you know that?
No, the tent in Sherman, on Sherman?
Yeah, the one behind Mercy.
Okay, I did not know that.
And they do it in they're doing it where the old ambulance bay was. So she had her tests there. And the other thing I thought I just mentioned, she's in a skilled nursing facility in Spring Lake that's never had a COVID case until now. And one resident tested positive, and they did a kind of a mass call to tell everybody, but they don't know how she got it.
Right, right. Thank you.
Any other questions for Ms. Moore? Hearing none, thank you so much, Ms. Moore, for the information.
Thank you.
Okay, we will move on to public comment on an agenda item. And Mark, we're going to count on you.
We have Christopher Cross hand up.
We will recognize Mr. Cross.
Good afternoon, everybody. I just wanted to that I was told and explained when dealing with grants and everything with the county that we had to babysit it at every single meeting to answer questions, to really push for funding if we need it. And come to find out, I can find every single committee meeting on the county website except for the Seniors Activity Committee. And that's the one that I needed to be at. So I just wanted to address that, see if the county can correct that, because every other committee I look for, I can find a link to for minutes and a Zoom link on the county website. It is only a paragraph explaining what the committee is, nothing else. So I'd appreciate maybe some clarity on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cross. Mark, do we have any others?
Yes, we have an FPTWHKT1.
We will recognize those initials.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
This is Heidi Tice at Fruitport Township. And hi. I just wanted to put out there some concerns that I know are out with the commissioners. The township will still have quite a bit of control with the DDA if we get that rolling. The plan does have to come to the full township board, and in that plan has to be a time frame, what parameters they're looking for improvement. And then if there are any bonds that need to be done, our attorney informed us last night that the township would pull those bonds because it has to be the full faith and credit of the township. So that also would get approved by the board and not just like a blank check. Those were just some concerns that I had heard last night. Last night we did put through a first reading and we listened to everyone and we did downsize the area. I sent the new proposed area out to Mark Eisenbarth, and I think that that flows in line with what the commissioners were looking for. I'm just trying to get everyone there and everyone here to both do the leap of faith, come together, and possibly get this DDA off the ground to help both sides of that coin, our residents and the county residents. So I just wanted to put that out there for you that we have certainly addressed some of your concerns, and then this other concern that the DDA would have more power than what the township board has, that's inaccurate also. The township board has to approve the plan. They have to approve any bonding. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Supervisor. Mark, do we have anybody else?
Commissioner Foster, Beth Dick, but she will comment on the Ways and Means agenda for Bob Skolnick.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any other public comment?
I'm not seeing anybody.
Okay, Commissioner Hughes, are you back on? I saw your name flash up there. Okay, I guess not. We'll move on to communications. That's for everybody's information. Take the time to read it. And we will move on to committee board reports. Ways and Means, Mr.
Wait,
Skolnick.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I just want to go on record as strongly opposing that resolution.
Yes, ma'am. That will be in the minutes for you. Anybody else have any comments on the communications? Hearing none, we will go on to committee and board reports with Ways and Means.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. The Ways.
Bob, Commissioner, could Beth Dick get her statement in before you make the motion?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. Beth Dick, Director of Finance. I did want to mention on Ways and Means motion 20/10-101 regarding the sheriff's vehicle. After the Ways and Means Committee meeting last week, I received some additional information that there is additional insurance proceeds that we have yet to receive that could be used to pay off the balance of the vehicle that was totaled. So I am suggesting that that motion be reworded to indicate that the insurance proceed amount be $20,913.49. And we can eliminate the portion referring to the $6,669.43 that needs to be added to the sheriff's budget because that is no longer necessary. So that's my suggestion in changing that motion.
Thank you, Beth.
Mr. Chair, can I ask, I don't know if we're in debate yet. Actually, I'll hold till we're in debate.
Thank you, sir. That would be appropriate. Mr. Skolnick, the floor is yours again.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, she's.
The Ways and Means Committee met on October 20th, 2020. And the following items for consideration were approved. WM 20/10-89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 102. I'll come back to 101. So I move, I'll make the motion that, well, and I'll do 101. How should we do this?
How about I make the motion that we approve items 98 through 104 and not include 101 with the recommendations of the finance director for item 101.
Perfect
I
wording.
will second that.
It's 98 through, or it's 89 through 102, except 101. So I know we'll go back to 101 in a second. Then I'll make the motion that we.
There's 104.
Yeah, there's 104, Bob, and 3.
Wait a minute. I'm looking at the actual agenda. Oh, I see. Okay, I had up on my other screen the original agenda. It got changed. Okay, you're right.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Nash, and it was supported by Commissioner Snyder. Do we have any comments, questions, or concerns? Commissioner Larian, I think you had one you were going to state.
Well, if we're not voting on 101, I'll yield until that one comes before the board.
Okay, anybody else have any questions or comments then?
Um,
Go ahead, Commissioner.
no, never mind.
Okay. So in hearing no comments, I will ask Madam Clerk for a roll call, please.
So we are calling the roll on 89 through 100, 102, 103, and 104,
Yes, ma'am.
Correct.
101 is separate.
and 101 is separate. So Commissioner
Correct.
Mahoney on,
Yeah.
do you
Yeah.
want each one to be done separately then? 89 by all of them, 80, 90, 91 by everyone, one on one.
The motion stated all the numbers at once, Madam Clerk, and I'm good with that if you are.
So Commissioner Mahoney on starting with 89,
Yes.
90,
Yes.
Oh,
91,
Yes.
92,
Yes.
93,
Yes.
94,
Yes.
95,
Yes.
96,
Yes.
97,
Yes.
98,
Yes.
99,
Yes.
100,
Yes.
102,
Yes.
103,
Yes.
and 104.
Yes.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, can't we do 89 through 104 excluding 101 just in one rather than read every one of them?
Madam Clerk, I'm fine with that if you are.
So in the past, the ruling has been that each motion has to be done separate. And that's why I was asking at the beginning if you wanted, I mean, that's why I was going through all of this so that each person's vote would be recorded individually.
Okay, we will
Just give
continue
me your
that.
direction of how you'd like me to proceed.
We will continue your way, Madam Clerk. We want you comfortable with the minutes.
Commissioner Nash. 89,
Yes. Yes.
90,
Yes.
91,
Yes.
92,
Yes.
93,
Yes.
94,
Yes.
95,
Yes.
96,
Yeah.
97,
Yes.
98,
Yes.
99,
Yes.
100,
Yes.
102,
Yes.
103,
Yes.
and 104.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Skolnick. 89,
Yes.
90,
Yes.
91,
Yes.
92,
Yes.
93,
Yes.
94, 95,
Yes.
96,
Yes.
97,
Yes.
98,
Yes.
99,
Yes.
100,
Yes.
102,
Yes.
103,
Yes.
104.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Commissioner Snyder, 89,
Yes.
90,
Yes.
91,
Yes.
92,
Yes.
93,
Yes.
94,
Yes.
95,
Yes.
96,
Yes.
97,
Yes.
98,
Yes.
99,
Yes.
100,
Yes.
101, I'm sorry, 102,
Yes.
103,
Yes.
104.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Wilkins, can you hear us for the roll call vote? Commissioner Wilkins,
We will have to pass her, Madam Clerk.
thank you. We'll go next to Vice Chairman Foster on 89.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. 90,
Yes.
91,
Yes.
92,
Yeah.
93,
Yes.
94,
Yes.
95,
Yes.
96,
Yes.
97,
Yes.
98,
Yes.
99,
Yes.
100,
Yes.
102,
Yes.
103,
Yes.
104.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Commissioner Hovey Wright, 89,
Yes.
90,
Yes.
91,
Yes.
92,
Yes.
93,
Yes.
94,
Yes.
95,
Yes.
96,
Yeah.
97,
Yes.
98,
Yes.
99,
Yes.
100,
Yes.
102,
Yes.
103,
Yes.
104.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Laring, 89.
No. Yes on all of the rest.
Thank you. Yes on 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. Yes on 102, 103, and 104. Thank you. Next is Commissioner Wilkins. Has she joined us?
Apparently not, ma'am.
Chairman Hughes.
Yes.
Yes on 89,
Yes.
90,
Yes.
91,
Yes.
92,
Yes.
93,
Yes.
94,
Yes.
95,
Yes.
96,
Yes.
97,
Yes.
98,
Yes.
99,
Yes.
100,
Yes.
102,
Yes.
103,
Yes.
and 104.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. The vote is 7 yes, 1 no, and 1 excused on 89. 8 yes on 90, 1 excused. I've excused Commissioner Wilkins on all these votes. So it's
Good.
8 yes on 91, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 102, 103, and 104.
Thank you, Madam Clerk, and those motions all passed. And now, Commissioner Skolnick, do we want to go back to 101?
Yeah, Beth, so the total amount will be paid from insurance proceeds? Is that what you're saying?
Beth, are you on?
Shaking her head.
Sorry, I couldn't get unmuted. Yes, that is correct. So basically the amount that appears in the motion, it says $14,250 can be updated to $20,913.49. And we do not need the language that says and remaining approximately $6,663.49 to be paid from the sheriff operations budget. That can be eliminated and amend the budget.
Do we need this motion at all?
Yes, we need direction to be able to how to use the insurance proceeds. They won't automatically be used to pay off the lease if the board doesn't approve it.
So the motion would be to approve the payoff of a 2017 Ford Police Interceptor lease vehicle through Ford Motor Credit that was totaled with $20,113.49 in insurance proceeds.
We get support on that?
So moved. So moved. Support.
Do we have a motion and support? Now it's time for questions and comments on that one.
Mr. Chair, can I ask Beth a question about this?
Floor is yours, sir.
Beth, I'm wondering, is this due to gap insurance on this vehicle?
What I was notified of after the meeting was that there is actually insurance coming in for the equipment on the vehicle. The $14,250 was just insurance related to the vehicle itself. Then there was additional funds coming in, or we have not yet received it, but we anticipate getting it very soon to make up the difference that would be allowed to pay off the entire balance of the lease vehicle.
So the insurance is for the equipment that is on the vehicle that will be removed and then reinstalled to the new vehicle? Is that what I'm not understanding why? Can you explain this a little more in depth, please?
Yes, the insurance is on equipment on the vehicle that was also damaged.
So then we're going to have to replace, so you're telling me there is not gap insurance, and then we're going to have to replace the equipment with new equipment on the vehicle. On the new vehicle, we're going to have to buy new equipment at some point for this new vehicle that we're leasing.
Yes, that whatever could not be salvaged, which is being reused, but then the portion that was damaged, we will be replacing it, and it is part of the motion that the board approved couple weeks ago to go with leasing of 5 new vehicles. One of those vehicles is the replacement vehicle for this one that was totaled. And that total lease amount included equipment.
Okay, then did you happen to check if there lease or gap insurance on the 5 new vehicles that we just ordered?
I think Kristen Wade had mentioned that she was going to look into that. I did not. I believe she was going to check and see what that would involve in terms of cost and whatnot.
Okay, thank you. Can somebody get back with the board regarding that, the availability of gap insurance, and if it would be on there, please?
Yes.
Any other questions on 101?
Mr. Wilkins is unmuted now.
Yes, Madam Chair, I would like for you to record my vote for a yes for 89 through 104. I could hear you, but apparently you couldn't hear me.
Madam Clerk,
And
did you get that?
Commissioner Wilkins, is your vote being recorded as yes on all of those excluding 101? Which we'll be voting shortly on 101.
All right.
Is your vote yes on 89 through 100 and 102 through 104?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Realistine and Madam Clerk. Okay, we have a motion and support on 101. Was there any other questions or comments? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
So the motion on 101 is as amended. Commissioner Nash.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Skolnick.
Yes.
Commissioner Snyder.
Yes.
Commissioner Wilkins.
Yes.
Vice Chair Foster,
Yes.
Commissioner Hovey Wright,
Yes.
Commissioner Laring,
Yes.
Commissioner Mahoney,
Yes.
Chairman Hughes.
Yes.
9 yes.
That motion passes. Madam Chairman, are you ready to take it back over at Chairman's report?
Yes, Gary, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I was having some technical problems. I had to call in and get it straightened out, and I really appreciate the IT help. Thank you. We will move on to the chairman's report. And number one, I would like to, we've had a death on our road commission board, and that was Sam Sainamore. We had known he was sick for quite a while. We've had an application from Sue Buckner, who is retiring as an elected official in Sullivan, and she would like to still stay current with the county, but just in a little bit smaller role. She's immensely qualified, and I would like a motion to appoint Sue Buckner to the Muskegon County Road Commission slot.
I will make that motion.
We have a motion and support. Are there any questions? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Skolnick,
Yes.
Commissioner Snyder,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilkins,
Yes.
Vice Chair Foster,
Yes.
Commissioner Hovey Wright,
Yes.
Commissioner Laring,
Yes.
Commissioner Mahoney,
Yes.
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Chairman Hughes.
Yes.
9 yes.
Thank you very much. That motion carries, and we will move on to the Muskegon. Let you know that the Muskegon Museum of Art Postcard Salon exhibition is now open. That's little postcard size paintings and drawings. It's really, really fun to see. A lot of them can be on the walls there. So that's something that you will want to see. It's offers free admission all day on Thursdays. So that's really a fun thing to see. And also, even with COVID, there's a lot of things to do on Halloween this year. We hope that our status stays the same so the kids can get out and trick or treat. There's a lot of trunk or treats, so make sure you look on, see what's happening in your neighborhood on that. I would also like to give any of the committee liaisons an opportunity if any of you have any information you'd like to share with us. I know our committees have been sort of on hold too, but does anybody have anything they'd like to share on their committees?
Madam Chair, may I?
Yes, Gary, please go ahead.
On the Veterans Committee today, we did start taking action by making a motion to move forward with some action on the north side of the Veterans Park. It's a long ways from taking reality, but at least we're taking the first step. This is on the water control for the north side.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Is there anyone else? Seeing none, Mr. Administrator, could we have your report, please?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Today, we bring back the discussion of the DDA in Fruitport. Earlier, I sent you a resolution from our corporate counsel and also sent you a letter from our director, Matt Fair, who attended the meeting, as well as Donna Vanderleest attended the meeting, last night's meeting in Fruitport. So I'm going to ask Matt to go over his findings, and then I'll ask corporate counsel to go over his findings. Again, our options are to do nothing, which means we opt in. The second option would be to opt out with intended to negotiate in good faith revenue sharing agreement. And a third one would be to opt out, period. So with that, Matt Fair, are you unmuted?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Mark and commissioners. Last night, the Fruitport Township Board voted on the size of the DDA and the first reading on the ordinance to establish the DDA. The first packet of information that I sent to you included boundaries from Howell Road to Pontaluna and from Harvey Street to Coeur d'Alene. The current taxable value in that district is over $62 million. Last night, the Fruitport Township Board approved an area that is Sternberg to the north, Honolulu to the south, Harvey to the west, Corps line to the east. That's a little less than half, I believe, of the original proposal. And the taxable value of that district is 35 million. So it's about half the taxable value going into the district. There was some discussion on Fruitport's board. All the board members were in favor of a 15-year cap or some sort of financial cap on it. That can't be done at this point. However, the Fruitport Township Board did vote unanimously to set that smaller district and hold the first reading. I won't get into all what DDAs do unless there's questions, but essentially what they do is by establishing this, any new investment, any taxes on the new investment can be used to stimulate growth by building public water and sewer, which the lack thereof has caused this land to be fallow for decades. So essentially you're using the developer's money to put in the water and sewer that'll be big enough for areas in the DDA plus the areas outside the DDA. Here's what this all boils down to. If we do nothing, okay, if we were to opt out of this DDA and this area remains in its current condition, what we would be foregoing, or what we would be gaining, is over the next 20 years, an average of less than $30,000 per year. That's what we would be gaining. In year one, it's like $4,000. But the property that's there in the defined district will continue to go up by about 1.7% per year, and we'll continue to collect that. So again, currently in this district, we're collecting about $250,000. Over the next 20 years, the average annual extra we would collect by opting out would be $30,000. However, the development on the table is nearly $60 million in economic development, economic growth. I was asked for recommendation, here it is. I would take no action today. Again, that would be foregoing less than $30,000 a year for an almost instant $60 million in economic growth. This would be the largest since this department has been coordinating economic development. The other thing I'd point out is that this proposal the township has put forward doesn't just benefit the DDA. It also places water and sewer and a lift station large enough to take everything east of it, which is not in the DDA. So if any development goes there, we'd get the full capture. If there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
I'll ask Mike Lemire to go over option 2.
Mark,
If there's no questions for Matt.
Well, I have a question.
Mark, can you see me?
Yes, go ahead.
Me?
Go ahead, Commissioner Rillestein.
Oh, my concern, because now I'm concerned about the water in Muskegon Heights, because we used to provide water to Fruitport, and I'm sure if they could use those facilities, that would certainly cut down on the expense, and they would be capable of fulfilling the needs of any development out there. Has anybody discussed that?
Matt,
Can you hear me?
Yes, Matt, as far as Commissioner Rillestein's question, my understanding, Fruitport and Norton Shores are in a contract, currently a contract, is that true? Matt, we can't hear you. Matt's been muted again. Can you please unmute Matt? But Commissioner Rillestein, my understanding is they're currently under a contract. That contract would have to be reopened for the Muskegon Heights.
Right, and I was just wondering if that is something that perhaps we should pursue, because I'm certain that it would be cheaper already to have all that infrastructure in And we supplied water to Fruitport before. And it definitely would be a lot cheaper because it's already there. But
Yeah.
we'll talk
Thank you, though.
about
I mean, it's a good point.
Mhm.
Commissioner Snyder?
No.
Okay, Commissioner Skolnick.
Yeah, I just had, we've been kicking this around. This thing, it's sort of complicated because I don't think there's any doubt that everybody wants the water lines oversized in the lift station. I think the only thing we were kind of questioning was the length of time of this thing and capping the amount of money to do what needs to be done. I think the amount that I read to be done was about 6.7 million, and that could be done in 15 years. I don't know. What do you think about that, Matt?
Well, that certainly is a projection, but we got to consider future developments. One thing we have not done is we didn't go through, and I didn't go through and conject about what may come as a result. I mean, I could say, okay, we could have 10,000 square foot of development on each acre that's worth $200 a square foot, $100 taxable. I mean, we'd be talking hundreds of millions a year. We only made estimates based on what's in front of the township today. However, by letting it go longer, keep in mind, there's a lot more land that's fallow south of this district that could also use this as well. So by just having a DDA and let the township cap, as they said, at whatever years, Heidi, I think I believe they said 15, although it's not done in stone yet, would give that DDA board the options to continue to use the capture from new investment to extend even further south.
Okay, so my concern with that is, all right, so currently it's got a taxable value of approximately $35 million.
The district, that is correct.
And so if this development goes in, that will become close to $100 million. And potentially we could lose out on any revenue for that for not just the 15 years, but it could go on for 30. And I'm not even sure there's a sunset date on one of those DDAs.
The DDAs do not last forever. I forgot the exact time limit on them.
And if they needed it to go longer and they came, they said, okay, we need to do this to develop this, 100 acres or whatever is there. I don't think anybody'd object to that, but it'd be nice to have an end date on it, at least for now. And we know how much the infrastructure is going to cost. Anyway, that's what
Yeah, I understand. My concern is I'd hate to see this go forward, or any development, not just here. And, a bigger lift station is needed, and a smaller one get built that doesn't have the capacity to serve not just this area, but an equally large area that's not in the district.
So may I ask a question, Mr. Chair?
Yes, go ahead, Zach.
Oh, I'm sorry, Madam Chair. I forgot that you were back on. Thank you. So I believe it was discussed last night that there is a sunset date to these, but there's also the ability for the township or the county to stop them. It wasn't something that was necessarily favorable to the developer, but the township or the county could stop this at a later date if they so choose to do that.
I don't think that's true. Mike is.
Yeah, I'd ask Mike Homier to weigh in on that.
Well, there is a provision under the DDA section of the statute that allows the municipality to dissolve the authority by ordinance. So that is a possibility. What the statute says is that an authority that has completed the purposes for which it was organized shall be dissolved by ordinance of the governing body. That's MCL 125.4230. subparagraph 1.
But that's not something the county could do by itself.
No, I don't believe so.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, go ahead, Commissioner Nash.
I'm sorry, Madam Chair. I'm trying to see if we could get our corporate counsel to weigh on this and give us a recommendation on how we should proceed.
Yeah, this resolution in front of us is written by corporate counsel. Please, Mike.
So I will say this: I will let the board decide the policy, and I think on the legal issues, I think Mr. Eisenbarth has correctly stated your options. One is to do nothing and let the county's taxes be subject to capture. Two would be to opt out completely, which means the county's taxes are not subject to capture. And option 3 is to opt out, negotiate a revenue sharing agreement with the DDA. And once that agreement is agreed upon, the county has the authority to then rescind the resolution opting out. So pursuant to the statute, you have a finite period of time to opt out, but you can opt back in at any time by simply adopting a resolution to rescind the opt-out resolution. So I think those are accurately stated options. Whether the policy makes sense is something that the board is certainly capable of discerning in terms of what Mr. Farah indicated, which is, without the infusion of tax increment financing going forward to reimburse for eligible expenses, does the property get developed? If the answer is no, then you should weigh that and determine how you might vote on that issue. If the answer is the board collectively does not think that it's a wise investment of future tax revenue, then you can make that decision as well. But again, I'll come back to, do you have the authority to opt out? Yes, it's a finite period of time. You can opt in or back in at any time if the board is considering a revenue sharing agreement to limit the ability to capture those taxes over a period of time.
Thank you, Mike. Are there any other comments, questions, or concerns?
Madam Chair, I have a comment if I may.
Yes, go ahead, Zach.
So to address Commissioner Rillestein's question, the water supply service could be negotiated at a later date, whether Muskegon Heights, I don't know why Norton Shores and Fruitport have chosen to, I think they're getting water from the city, but those issues could be negotiated. They're not necessarily part of this agreement. The other thing is, I don't know why the county would give up approximately $30,000 a year when they can have the opportunity for $60 to $160 million of investment into this area. Some of this property is more than what Matt refers to as fallow. It's basically unusable property. And there are blight issues with this. I get calls from numerous residents of people dumping trash out here. There's an old blueberry field that's part of that, that's got old abandoned buildings on it. It's actually a blight to the community. We have an opportunity for significant investment into Muskegon County that's going to benefit the entirety of the county, not just the Fruitport area. I think the whole county will see a boon from this. It sends a signal to developers that there's area over here and they can move in. If we don't, you don't get anything from nothing. We have to make an investment, and this gives us the opportunity to invest in this community and draw developers in, not just out at the golf course, but there's potential expansion for future revenues that the county is not going to see if we don't give them an incentive to do that.
Thank you, Commissioner Laring. Anyone else?
So,
Madam
Commissioner,
Chair, oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Marcia.
Commissioner Laring, what are you asking us to opt in?
Well, we don't have to do anything. So this is
Right.
one of those weird deals where
Right.
doing nothing is actually affirmation of the DDA.
Right.
So I'm asking the board to do nothing.
Commissioner Nash?
Madam Chair, I just wanted to weigh in on this because I'm definitely for economic development. But I think we have to take a closer look at not only this DDA, but I think we need to look at the procedures on how we move forward with all our DDAs and our TIFs that we're doing, because we've been signing blank checks. We haven't been monitoring them. We haven't been checking for deadlines and dates and really seeing how this is going. And I've noticed over the last decade that our budgets have been very tight. We've been cutting budgets. We've been laying people off. And it's been a constant roaring that way. I do want to see this move forward, but I think the recommendation by our attorney is probably more sound than what we're really looking at, because we're kind of putting the cart before the horse. And there's still a lot of details that still has to be worked out that we have no clue as to how it's going to turn out. I don't want to hold up any development. I think we definitely need to move forward with a resolution, but I think it's best that we opt out first and then move forward with that negotiation as our attorney had advised. But I'm looking at the fact that we have a casino that's going to be coming in very soon.
Right.
And that property value is supposed to double out there within the next few years. So there's going to be tons of tax money coming in that we're going to be missing out on. And as far as I can see, because COVID's still not over and we still haven't seen what's going to happen with our budgets in the future, which I'm sure it's not going to be as great as we think it is going forward, especially in 22. So I think we have to look at everything. And, you know, as we build that bigger community and as we build those more people coming in, there's more people that need services, which means there's more higher demand on the county. And we're already, you know, we're scraping the barrel as it is every year.
Madam Chair, may I?
Madam Chair, may I?
Thank you, Commissioner Nash. Anyone else?
Yeah,
Marcia,
Madam
go ahead.
Chair.
Just a minute,
Yeah.
Zach.
Just a quick question. I didn't follow the boundaries. So does it or does it not include the area for the casino, the Indian land? It did not?
It did not.
They took that out, yes.
Any Sternberg Road South is what's included. Anything north of Sternberg is not included.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you, Matt. Commissioner Laring, go ahead.
So one, I just wanted to comment to debate a little bit with Commissioner Nash. Corporate counsel didn't make a recommendation. He just presented the option to opt out. They're not recommendations. There are two motions on or two proposals here, and his was just one of the two proposals. It's not a recommendation. Secondly, talking about future development in this area, it cannot be developed without the infrastructure. There is no water, there is no sewer in these areas. You can't build out there without the infrastructure. You will get maybe one or two single-family homes if the zoning allows. The commercial development cannot happen because there is no water or sewer. It's up to government to provide infrastructure for developers to tie into. We're not going to be hooking water and sewer up on private property. We're going to provide the community infrastructure for these developers to tie into, which does not exist without this DDA. The development on the table right now is not going to oversize his water and sewer lines to serve the whole DDA. If his water lines are a 6-inch water line to his property, that's all he's going to build. He's not going to build anything extra for all this development. You're not going to get homeowners to go out there and run water lines for 2 miles down the road. This DDA provides the mechanisms to fund this to all happen. And again, we're only giving up $30,000 a year in taxes to create potential.
That's not true.
It's,
Matt,
how do you-
could I?
Thank you, Zach. Anyone else?
Yes, I have a comment.
Yes, go ahead, Bob.
I don't understand what the resistance is to having us opt out, and then we're going to have an arrangement, a revenue sharing arrangement. I don't know what difference does it make? All the money will be there to put in all the infrastructure, millions of dollars. And then in a 15-year sunset, and because the way it is now, say this 35 million turns into 100 million, we still only collect whatever we're collecting now for decades.
Thank you, Bob. Mark, anything else on your agenda?
Well, I just want to bring your attention to the second page of Mike's letter,
Okay.
where it talks about if the board was to do this option, you'd be asking myself to go in good faith and discuss it with Heidi and their board of what that would look like. Just want to bring that attention to this document.
Thank you very
So-
much.
Susie,
Go ahead, go ahead, Marcia.
Yeah, so you would do the revenue sharing negotiation.
Correct.
Right. So one worry I have is that Heidi Tice said yesterday that if we voted to opt out, either way, with a revenue sharing or either temporary or permanent, that it would be a big discouragement to their board, and that concerns me.
Madam Chair, if I may, I can address that.
Just a minute, Zach, please. Bob is next. Go ahead, Bob.
I was going to say, they voted, I think it was September 14th. So there's all this pressure to have this done like right away. Well, if they don't, that isn't necessarily true, because they can just not have the second reading of it, and they can just do it over again a week later. You know, there's all this pressure. Well, if you don't approve it, we're going to do this. I mean, that isn't how we do business. This project is a good project. There's no reason to do that. It benefits everybody. All I'm saying is make it fair for the county. I mean, our revenue hasn't moved since 2008, hardly at all.
Thank you, Bob. Zach, did you have another comment or not?
Yes, I did. Well, I wanted to address Marcia's concern. That was addressed at the board last night. There is some concern that the Fruitport Township Board is not going to relook at this if it doesn't pass the board today. That feel was presented last night. So I was hopeful that the board would approve it today and that they could move forward with this project. I don't make decisions for the board. Obviously, they do in the entirety. But I also want to address Bob's concern. There is concerns with that. If our board doesn't move on this today, I don't think their board's going to move forward. So that's a sense of urgency. And there's a developer out there that's got, I hate the term shovel ready, but he's already got signs in the ground and is starting to sell lots. He's looking for proposed clients already into his lots. And if he starts this project without this benefit, he's going to start this project with undersized lines. It's only going to benefit him, not the entirety of this project. The project could be much larger for the whole community, and he's just going to benefit his own little project and run his small little services to provide to his development, which we have an opportunity for much larger growth than what's on the table right now.
Thank you, Zach.
Madam Mayor?
Yes, go ahead. Who somebody else have a comment?
Go ahead, Commissioner Foster.
Thank you, sir. Madam Chair, may I ask Matt Fair, our Public Works Director? He has been involved in many, many, many DDAs. His best advice for us to move forward so the county does receive its fair share. Matt, if I may, I hate to impose on you.
Would you please unmute Matt Farrow? Matt, you're unmuted. Go ahead.
Thank you, Commissioner. You know, my recommendation, you know, is still remains, and I understand the other comments that are made. I understand all sides of this. However, I'm looking at a bigger picture, not just this DDA district. And I'm looking at the fact that this would provide something Fruitport's never been able to get since 1974, is sewer to this area, not just the DDA, but the other areas that are outside of the DDA. I feel, and this is just my opinion based on doing this for a long time, that the best course of action is to do nothing and to provide Fruitport the tool that it needs, not just to develop the DDA or just this development, but the development south of this development in the DDA and those outside. I believe this will grow. I think this will be an overall benefit. And we look at Roosevelt Park. We did one in Roosevelt Park. Remember when Campbell Wine Campbell's closed? We redeveloped that. We took this old factory and was able to redevelop it. J.C. Penney, all those outlots around J.C. Penney. We got some good quality lease space there around the Penney's lot, including the outbuildings.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Madam Chair, for allowing me to have Matt speak.
Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Commissioner Nash, did you have one last comment?
Yeah, I just wanted to make one last comment. Number one, I think that, you know, again, like I say, I like the economic development idea, but I can tell you too, with the casino going in, there's going to be a number of people and a number of investors that are going to be looking to develop that property all around.
Commissioner Nash?
Ma'am?
I could hear you fine, Charles.
Oh, okay. My response to that is that, you know, there's going to be a ton of development that's going to come. There's going to be a ton of sprawl. You'll probably see both sides of that that expressway being built up even more. There's going to be a lot of community sprawl due to all of this. I don't think we have to move in such urgency and just cut the county short. We can't usually give our employees the proper raises that they need.
Mark,
we can't
did you have any
usually
other
afford
comments?
to hire different ones.
Sorry.
I mean, there's lots of different things that we have to look at. And this agreement is not even really final. We don't even have all the details. And I think it's just best that we move forward with that option to opt out with a good faith revenue sharing agreement to be established that we have in the resolution. I definitely want to see us help this group move forward with some economic development. But I don't think that the cost of that infrastructure is a 15-year cost, considering the value that is going to go up.
Madam
Mark,
Chair,
did you have any other comments for us?
Did you hear Commissioner Nash? So Commissioner Nash or Zach, I guess any commissioner, we need some type of direction on this.
We don't, actually we don't, but thank you for addressing that.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion that we adopt this resolution in regards to the DDA for the Fruitport.
Oh, would you repeat that for me, please, Commissioner Nash?
I would make a motion that we adopt this resolution that we're looking at this time to opt out and come back with a good faith revenue sharing agreement after the 60 days.
Is there a second?
I'll support it.
We have a second. Any comments, questions, or concerns?
Yes, Madam Chair, may I?
Yes, go ahead, Gary.
Would this jeopardize the project in whole if we do this?
As far as I understand, it could jeopardize the Fruitport Township moving forward,
It would.
yes.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Snyder,
Yes.
Oh,
Commissioner Wilkins. Commissioner
Yes.
Wilkins.
Did you hear me?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yeah. What is,
Yes.
will you
Commissioner
restate
Wilkins,
the motion?
did you say yes?
Yes.
Thank you. Vice Chair Foster,
No.
Commissioner Hovey Wright,
No.
Commissioner Laring,
No.
Commissioner Mahoney,
No.
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Commissioner Skolnick,
Yes. Yes.
Chairman Hughes.
No.
That's 5 no, 4 yes. Motion fails.
Thank
Madam
you very
Chair,
much.
do we need a motion to do nothing, or do we just do nothing?
That's what we usually do, Charles.
I think
We-
we could just move on and
Yeah,
we'll
we
be
got a
fine.
direction to move forward. That ends my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Now we have old business. Is there any old business to come before this committee?
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion if I may.
Go ahead, Zach.
I would like to make a motion that we adopt the Oscoda County Board resolution to impeach Governor Whitmer.
Oh, Jesus.
Is there a second? Seeing none, we will move on. Is there any other old business? Seeing none, is there any new business?
I have one item for a new discussion.
Yes.
As you see, the courts had to revert back to their phase 2
Yes,
in the memo. It goes into effect tomorrow. You will have some employees working at home, and if Patrick or Sandra want to chime in on this, you're more than welcome to. So the question comes up is, we have people in this building who are reacting to the Supreme Court order, and although we have not really addressed the South Campus, I encourage the South Campus to continue to working with, again, this is with your support, continue safe practices, continue with working remotely if all possible, and remind their guests to take their temperatures. Remember, employees to take a temperature. Remember to obviously wash your hands. Be safe. Stay in your office and call people instead of going down the hall and visiting with people. As Kathy reported earlier, the numbers are going back up, and they continue to go back up. So we've had higher numbers in May. We beat the numbers in May. So the concern is there, and it's imperative that our employees work as safe as possible. And when we bring them in, make sure the directors are making sure their employees work as safe as possible.
Thank you very much, Mark. I definitely agree. We need to do everything we can to protect our residents and our employees.
Thank you.
And we will move on now to public comment. Is there any members of the public that have a comment? Mark, would you help me check that? Let me see here.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anybody raise their hand.
I have one hand raised.
Fruitport.
Fruitport.
Heidi.
Heidi, do you have something you want to say to us?
Yes, I'd just like to say thank you so much for considering Fruitport's DDA. I really, really am excited to find some way to get the growth going on down there. And thank you so much for everything you've done today. Thank you.
Thank you, Heidi. I do not see anyone else. Do you, Mark?
No, I do not.
All right. We will move on to final board comments. Is there anyone else that would like to have a comment?
Madam Chair, I'd like to have a comment.
Yes, go ahead, Charles.
I probably should have did this in the announcements earlier, but I wanted to inform everyone that the Muskegon community had been working on putting together a team to do mural signs for the overpasses for the bridges that have the rails that come over them. And I had gotten a message from my daughter, who is actually an artist that actually applied. and she happened to be selected as one of the finalists. But there is another phase. The next phase is a process to create the opportunity for public input on the finalist designs. And these will be displayed in the next few weeks, first at Muskegon Heights Library, October 26th through November 2nd, and next at the Hackley Public Library, November 3rd through November 11th, and at the Norton Shores Library, November 12th through November 19th. And then after that, they will pick their 4 finalists. And I would encourage everyone to talk to their families or friends to go out and see those and pick their best designs. And just know that one of them has the same last name as me.
Well, thank you very much for that information. That certainly sounds like that came from a proud father.
Yes, yes, I am.
Well, that's
The other
great.
thing I
I'm so
wanted
pleased
to
for her. Well,
The
we'll
other
make
thing I
sure we
wanted
do
to
that. Thank
respond
you so
on,
much.
I had
Any other
another
board
comment.
comments?
Yes.
Yes, Marcia, go ahead.
Yeah, I am on the, what is it called? Health Disparities Committee. And I mentioned that we had passed the resolution to declare racism as a health crisis. But I don't know if we're doing any follow-up to that, and wondered if we could initiate maybe a subcommittee to do that. You know, maybe you're already, Health Human Resources is already doing that, and we have to look at policies, et cetera. So that's a question to Mark, I guess.
Yeah, well, Mark will look into that and let us know. Thank you so much.
Madam Chair?
Yes, go right ahead.
I had one more comment because I wanted to get clarity on this. Mark, if we're opting out and not doing anything, that allows that to go the 30 years. Am I correct?
It's up to their board. Talking to the supervisor, Heidi Tai, she said they're looking at 5 to 10. So in good faith,
But if we don't
as
opt
board.
out, they can do whatever they want. They can do 30, correct?
They could do 10, 20, 30. Yes, that is correct. But again, Heidi told me today that they're looking at 10 to 15 years. And there's 2 people on her
But
board.
with us not opting out, we leave that option wide open.
We leave that up to their DDA board. And yes, and their Fruitport board.
Any other final board comments?
Yes, Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, Gary.
The farm to family food events we've been doing in Eggleston and throughout the county, I would highly encourage the commissioners to get with their township and help pass this food out. It is a very rewarding program for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. I know you've been very active in yours and all your communities. Great job. Anyone else?
Commissioner Hughes.
Yes.
Just to let our employees plus the general public know, Michigan Works is still doing some unemployment activity in terms of answering questions. We can't really do a whole lot, but they know who to call, let's put it that way, if there's some issues. And we still have some issues in the county with employees that have not received unemployment.
Thank you, Commissioner Mahoney. Really good information. Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, I would like to have a motion to go into closed session to discuss our attorney trial and or settlement strategy pending lawsuit Clark versus County of Muskegon, case number 120CV00074 pursuant to MCL 15.268E, because discussion of the open record will be detrimental to our position, and also to discuss material exempt from disclosure under attorney-client privilege under MCL 15.2431G pursuant to MCL 15.268H. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Support.
I have a motion and support. Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Wilkins.
Yes.
Vice Chair Foster.
Yes.
Commissioner Hovey Wright.
Yes.
Commissioner Laring.
Yes.
Commissioner Mahoney,
Yes.
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Commissioner Skolnick,
Yes.
Commissioner Snyder,
Yes.
Chairman Hughes,
Yes.
9 yes.
We will give IT about 5 minutes to make sure that everybody who's not supposed to be in the meeting is removed, and we will be all set in about 5 minutes. Thank you very much.
Did Sean say what he was calling about? Thank you. No. I can't hear him.
question. Can you hear me?
Okay, give me a moment. It automatically muted everybody when we came back.
Okay. Susie, can you hear me? I'm going to have to leave.
Okay, Bob.
Okay.
That's okay. Go ahead. Mark, is everybody unmuted now? I can't tell.
Not quite. I'm just going through the
Okay.
list. We're close.
All right. First of all, I will entertain a motion to go out of closed session back into open session.
So moved.
Moved. Second, Hovey-Wright.
We have a motion and support for that. Madam Clerk, could I have a roll call, please, to go back into open session? I think we'll need to wait for the clerk to get back in.
And Mark, you might have to unmute Linda. Maybe the clerk is with her.
Okay, everybody is either unmuted or has been asked to unmute.
Okay. Linda, can you unmute so we can get a roll call, please? Mark, I need Scudder unmuted, please.
Yes, I've asked to unmute Linda.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
It looks like Linda Scudder and Commissioner Wilkins are both still muted.
Realesteem, would you please unmute yourself? And I need you to unmute Ken Sanford too, because that's where Zach is.
Okay. Ken Sanford.
Thank you very much. Linda, we are all set. We need a roll call vote to go back into open session, please.
Vice Chair Foster,
Yes.
Commissioner Hovey-Wright,
Yes.
Commissioner Laring,
Yes.
Commissioner Mahoney,
Yes.
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Commissioner Skolnick.
Commissioner Skolnick is excused.
Thank you. Commissioner Snyder,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilkins,
Yes.
Chairman Hughes.
Yes.
That's 8 yes, 1 excused.
Thank you very much. That motion carries. We are now in open session. I would entertain a motion to follow the recommendation of our council.
I will so move.
Support.
Motion by Commissioner Snyder, second by Commissioner Foster. Any comments, questions, or concerns? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call, please?
Yes, Commissioner Hovey-Wright,
Yes.
Commissioner Laring,
Yes.
Commissioner Mahoney,
Yes.
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Commissioner Snyder,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilkins,
Yes.
Vice Chair Foster,
Yes.
Chairman Hughes.
Yes.
8 yes, 1 excused.
Thank you very much. That motion carries. We are now at adjournment, and I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So
So
moved.
moved.
We have a motion
Forward.
to adjourn and a second. All those in favor of adjournment, please say aye.
Aye.
And we are adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay safe, everybody.